Hi, I'm Tom at Valley Cycle Center, Winchester, Virginia, and we've got another little video for you talking about the X300, but there were some comments that got us talking that maybe we should talk about two other motorcycles. One of those bikes is KLR 650, and the other one is this Versys in the Versys family 650. And so I want to tell you some thoughts that I have about these if you're thinking about any one of these bikes or trying to figure out one's best for you. These bikes, their similarities are interesting to me. All three of them are Kawasaki's. All three of them, are kind of the adventure, dual sport, go anywhere type motorcycle. Past that, everything starts to get split up. You've got two of the bikes with spoke wheels on them. You have two of them called Versys. One of them called KLR. As far as I'm concerned, two of them could be called KLR, two of them could be called Versys, but it wouldn't necessarily be the two that are called Versys. So there's a lot of differences there. You have one with a 21-inch front wheel, you have one with a 19-inch front wheel, you've got another one with a 17-inch front wheel. All of them do a lot of different things that way. You have two of them, this one and this one, that are parallel twins. You've got this one that is a big thumper, meaning a single cylinder. All of these bikes you can take out and you can do highway speeds on. All of them you could go down a gravel road theoretically. All of them will, get you through the countryside. But there's two things that I think, if you care about what I have to say, that you should be thinking about when you choose either one of these or one of the three of these bikes. One of them is Inseam, not your height, your inseam, and the other one is what the mission is. So let's start with the inseam. I've said before that I'm 5'6", I have a 30-inch inseam, so while I'm not the shortest person, I'm on the shorter end of the scale. I'm going to bring in James, the owner of Valley Cycle Center, who is my polar opposite, 6'4", and he has a 34-inch inseam. So if we start with this bike, which is the KLR, that has the highest seat, this is 35 inches. You can see that when I throw a leg over it, I'm very much on my tippy toes. Now you can do things to lower this bike, and I can still ride it, but this is not really comfortable for me. So if I have James do the same thing with his 34-inch inseam, he's sitting there flat-footed. So we move down the line to a 33-inch seat height. My heels are still off the ground, but this is fairly comfortable. I can still be in control of it. Big difference though, these bikes might be similar in weight. This bike's closing in on 500 pounds. So you have a lot of top weight. If you get to one of those places that can trick you, this is, if you're shorter than me, you should really think about it. So, James, you go ahead and do that one.
Flat foot.
Flat foot again, no surprise. Now we've moved to the X300. Now, I'm even more comfortable. If I wasn't an old guy wearing old boots, I could probably get my heels down even better, but this is 32. Of course, this bike is weighing somewhere around 100 pounds less than this. There's a big difference there. So when you start to move that weight around, you're going to be a lot more comfortable. So from an inseam standpoint, think about where you fit. I guarantee you're a little bit less than me, a little bit more than him, but most of you all are sitting in between the two of us. So thanks, James, for that. That's going to get us to mission. When you buy any motorcycle, hopefully it's going to serve two purposes. A purpose of work or a purpose of fun. Most of you are probably going to choose fun. But you should know what your mission is. So I'm going to try to cut through very, very quickly what I think is the chosen direction for you to go based on a mission that I don't know. If you're thinking about, if you're a new rider, this is the bike for you, without question. Even if you're James' height, you would work on this bike. Well, could you get away with this if you're a taller person? Sure. What's the difference between these two? This thing is peppy. This bike is a lot quicker than this bike. Both of them, you'll go down the highway a similar speed, but this is going to be a lot for you to handle. So, beginner, gravel roads, getting out on the dirt a little bit, it'll do those types of things. But if I was really thinking about being in the dirt and I was big enough to handle it, I'd probably go with the KLR. This is a bike that's meant to just go anywhere. You want to go to Alaska, a good bike to do it on. And there's a couple of things I was even talking about off camera. This is the only carbureted bike of the three of them. And I don't know if this is why Kawasaki has kept it carbureted, but from my standpoint, if I was in the middle of nowhere and having fueling problems, I would much rather be working on a carburetor than a fuel injection system. So if you're thinking about dirt, if you're thinking about rugged use, if we were talking about horses, this would be the mule, this would be the horse, and that would be the quarter horse. So think about it from a mule standpoint. Think about it about going down gravel roads, walking right through the shop there.
I'm sorry about that.
Think about going down gravel roads, think about mud, think about creek, think about single track. And that would be a reasonable use for this bike. But it'll still go down the highway and still do a regular job of commuting and those types of things, but carry a big load, lots of torque. This bike, on the other hand, if I was choosing this would be because I've been riding a 600 Super Sport or have friends that have them, and I no longer want to be bent over the handlebars. You sit in an upright position, it's comfortable, and it'll go down the highway like crazy, but you really want to be on street. This is not the bike that you choose because you want to go down a gravel road, in my opinion. And that leaves us with the X300. Now for me, the reason I chose this bike, and I'm not saying I would choose it over these, although I did, but the reason I chose these bikes is part of it's my stature, my size, part of it's lightweight. When I do things that are off-road, you know, if I was going to get down and dirty, I'd be on a dirt bike. But if I want to go down a gravel road, through a little bit of single track and stuff, this bike will do it, and it's lightweight enough to do it. But it'll also go out on the highway, it'll cut highway speeds, do all the things you need to do. Good bike to learn on as well, but if you're an experienced rider and you think this bike won't give you fun, I got news for you. It's plenty fun. So from that standpoint, you have to think about what your use is going to be for the choice that you make. And I chose the X300. Some of you had asked, you know, will it do real dirt work? It was never intended to do real dirt work. This bike though, I've had it on gravel roads, doesn't have the right tire for it. You also on this have a street tire. This, you have kind of a combination street tire, trail tire. And of course this, you have what I'll call a light knobby tire. You do feel this tire going down the road, by the way, at highway speeds. You're feeling the vibration of it, where this is smooth as silk, and so is this. So that's 3 great bikes by Kawasaki, and 3 great choices. I'm sure you'll make the right one. Those of you that have been thinking a difference between this and this, though, I want you to think, if dirt, gravel roads, and any of that are going to be in your mission, I would go with that. If you're a new rider, go with that. If you want speed and you want to do highway work and it's touring going across country, this bike comes with saddlebags too. Choose this. That's it. Valley Cycle Center, Winchester, Virginia. Tom, see ya.